Deep Sports Talk broadcast is brought to you by Physical Therapy U. For more information, they can be reached at ptuclinic.com. Adria's Restaurant Banquet Facility of East Bridgewater. Their website is adriasrestaurant.net for all of your restaurant and banquet needs. Megan Chase of Kim West Real Estate. Her contact information is 774-240-7707 for all of your real estate needs.
It's time for your local sports attention getter. It's 4 Deep Sports Talk. Come listen to the sports stars of tomorrow. You can call in at 508-222-1320 on WARA 1320 AM.
The 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. I'm Dominic Damiano as we try to work our way through this pandemic, and I'm trying to be ambidextrous, and I think I got it going. So we are live here on 1320 AM WARA, and I'll shoot in the images, and we are waiting for Coach Seavey from Bridgewater Raynham. So people who saw our post that we are highlighting the Lady Trojans of Bridgewater Raynham. Coach Seavey was nominated as our Girls Coach of the Year. As I have two things going here, and I'm trying so people understand what goes on with trying to do radio and TV. I have two things going on right now. I want to give a big shout out. Oh, we have a call. Here's our first call, and let's see what we got going on. So we have. Hi, you're first on 4 Deep Sports Talk. Hello.
Hi, Dominic. How are you?
Cheryl, thank you. We got another call coming in. Oh, this is fantastic. Hello, you're on 4 Deep Sports Talk. Hello? Oh, let me hit the button. Hello, you're on 4 Deep Sports Talk.
Hi, this is
Kenzie, how are you? Cheryl, we have Kenzie on the other line.
Perfect.
Hey, can you hear, Kenzie, can you hear Cheryl? I mean, Coach Seavey? Good. It's what? You really can't hear me well? You got to turn your hearing aid up. I'm sorry. How about now? How about now?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, cool. So first of all, guys, for so many years I've been covering you guys locally on Bridgewater and Raynham Access TV, and I just thought it'd be cool for us to get through this pandemic together as you're being our first guests on the show. Of course, I have an empty studio. I usually have a bunch of interns in here, and Lucy Cabral with me, who helps me out. And unfortunately, you guys got stuck with me. I just want to apologize in advance.
No, we appreciate having the opportunity to come on. We appreciate all that you do to promote, the sport that we love, and thank you for that. And like I said, it's a privilege to have us on today. There's discuss everything for sure.
It really is. So, I mean, you guys are actually going to be the experiment, I guess, the great experiment. But first of all, Coach, I want to congratulate you on being nominated our Coach of the Year here at 4 Deep Sports Talk. And I have a plaque. I don't have a plaque. I have a trophy. And we're trying to treat it like the Stanley Cup. We have your name, of course, the school, and then a picture of you. And we're going to try to add that into our new Facebook page we're going to do for Coaches and Players of the Year.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Like I said, it's a tremendous honor. Obviously, couldn't do it without the group of young ladies that I had on our team and all their support, as well as, having assistant coaches of John Gallagher and Haley Powers to help out. So, obviously, it's not just a single award for me as a coach, but I think it speaks volumes to the program and the direction that we have had, with our program. That's the thing that we've got going on now.
Absolutely. So I'll just give you guys a heads up because you guys are not in the studio. So we'll take 3 breaks in this hour. So just to let you know, if you hear music chime in, that means I forgot to press the right button. So,
Not a problem at all.
all right, cool. So, Kenzie, your sister saw a lot of the games from school, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So I'm going to brag about you first because you're the first one I have on. Do we have any other players lined up to come on? Is it just Kenzie? Do I have the pleasure of just having you today?
Nope, it's just myself and Ken. Right?
Cool. That'll work.
I just tormented Kenzie today.
You did. What time did you start getting on her about it?
Yeah, I know. She's an easy sell. So
She's
I
an
just
easy
had to
sell.
ask her once.
Well, she kind of knows who I am, so it's probably easy. Oh, yeah, the short fat guy does the games. So for Kenzie Magalanis, I have she played in 591 minutes. Her field goal percentage was .311, which is outstanding. Averaged rebounds was 5.6. Total was 134. Wow. Offense 50. Make sure I get the right person. Offense 55. Defensively 79. Again 134. She averaged just under 10 points. We're going to round off to 11. 11 points a game. 100 steals. Now, Kenzie, did you hear us calling your 100th steal in the Garden? Did you get a chance to watch that game?
I did, yes. I actually, I texted him and I was like, wait, I actually got my 100 steals? And he was like, yeah. So yeah, thanks for letting me know.
Oh, you're welcome. It was our pleasure. So, from a player's vantage point, right? I mean, you guys lost a couple seniors, and I don't think it really hurt the team that much. I mean, losing anybody, and oh, thank you, sir. Hurting anybody, as far as another starter, always hurts. But it doesn't seem like I'm trying to say. I guess it doesn't seem like you got hurt that bad with this graduating class this year.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say, or?
Yeah. Especially it was interesting because last year we graduated 11 seniors, and we graduated 2 this year. So it's nice to have most of the team returning next year, just to have another year under all of our belts. It's really important, like security wise, in the game and mentally, to have that one more year. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely nice that we only graduated 2 instead of 11.
So you're going into this year, right? Because you're going into this year before I start talking to Coach Stevie. What was the mindset? Going. I mean, you know the girls from seeing them in school, and you played with them a couple of years, and of course you lost your sister and a couple other really good players. What was the mindset going into the first practice, or before you realized this could be a very special season?
Yeah, I kind of realized it was going to be a special season after the last game last season. I knew like the talent that we had coming up from our sophomore class, and I kind of just said it straight out, like right from the beginning, like we know what our goal is, and we're totally capable of it. We wanted to make it to the Garden. We wanted to get that sub-sectional title and make it to the state championship, which we fell short of, but definitely had a lot of success, and I think it all started from just having that mindset at the beginning of the season, of where we knew we wanted to end up in the end. And everyone bought in, and everyone had fun doing it. So.
Absolutely. So, what was your when you first? I know you guys did your TikTok thing because I was dragging my gear and I just caught you guys coming off the elevator and talking to Coach Stevie. So, how was it?
Yeah.
You came up with the idea of the TikTok. I mean, that kind of loosened you guys up. You like that a little fun before tip off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not big on making TikToks, but my teammates are. So we just wanted to do something fun. I mean, everyone was a little nervous. It was a big game, so I think it definitely just loosened all of us up. And we always have fun together. So.
I know, right? You can definitely tell it. Coach, that's one thing you didn't have to worry about was camaraderie with these guys, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things we really stress here is that we have a family, that we look after each other and take care of each other and support each other through thick and thin. And that's what you saw all season long, was kids really supporting each other and holding each other up. Obviously, practice can be tremendously difficult on anyone at any given time. Games can have their highs and lows. But at the end of the day, they all love and support each other and encourage each other. And that's really, where it starts from is these young ladies forming those bonds. And that's what you see, through the craziness of TikToks or the activities that they do together. Like yesterday, for example, all the kids got together and formed a parade, a social distance parade, and drove by one of our freshmen's house celebrating her birthday. And that's something that they do independent of me. And that gives a huge to bond that they have formed with each other. And you see that transferring onto the court. They trust each other and they love each other and they support each other in their battle with each other every day. And that caring and that factor of, being supportive of each other really does transfer onto the court.
It really does. I got to answer a call, a text I got from Lauren Mulhern. I know she's watching on Facebook Live. We have a little bit of static. I'm trying to be ambidextrous and do two things at once. I hope she can hear this, but I really apologize for any mess up here on the Facebook Live site. I'm trying to do two things at once.
You're wearing many hats.
I am. I'm telling you, as long as I don't start a fire, I mean, we got a good chance of coming off the show today. So Kenzie, what offers have you got with school so far? I mean, everyone talks about in the town and in Raynham about, Shay Boland, about all the offers she got and stuff like that. What about you?
I have 2 offers in Nashville and UNH.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Right. So what, any certain one comes to mind that, or you just, you're going to probably wait till this social distancing gets a little bit more in control and people can start living normal lives. Do you have a time or a date where you and your mom and dad want to, or even your sister want to go up and look at the school? Or have you ever done that already?
Fortunately, I have been able to go and look at both of them. It's definitely hard with all that's going on to look at the other schools that I'm interested in. But yeah, so luckily I've been able to see both of them.
So do you want to give it away now or do you want to wait till later?
Probably soon. I want to.
Well, Kenzie's such a contemplative kid that, I think she really wants to take her time to continue to make sure that she's making, the right decision for herself, for her academic future, for her basketball future. And I think that's where you are in the process. I know this kid, like my own daughter, I think she's just contemplating her choices. Believe me, I talked to so many different college coaches. They all agree about her and her skill set. So whoever, finally lands this 4 years, they're going to get a treasure for sure.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to take our first break. We're going to step away. You're listening to 4D Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and on our Facebook page, as before, was 4D Sports Talk. We are highlighting the 2019-2020 Coach of the Year, Cheryl Stevie from Bridgewater Raynham, and of course, Kenzie Madalonis, one of the stars. We'll be back with more right after this.
When you need your business to reach your target audience, let us help you get back into the game.
We do college recruiting CDs covering Little League Baseball and high school sporting events. We get it done right.
Of the game, the Trojans 60.
Is
end. Savior 1-3 for Bowling. Hits. Shoot, scores! McCormick scores again on the rebound.
Hey, welcome back. You're listening to 4D Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4dsportstalk.com. I'm Dominic Damiano. Luce Cabral will be in next week. She's going to run it for a couple of days as I have to guess to go back to work and make some money. And I believe she's going to try to have someone come in and help out with the show. And she has a couple of guests schedule. We'll make sure we promote that on Facebook and on our Twitter page. And I'm happy to be joined by Kenzie Madalonis, now a senior, and of course our Coach of the Year, Cheryl Suki from Bridgewater Raynham. Please tell me, guys, I didn't lose you.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, great. Thank you. So, Coach, your outlook going into the season, I mean, for the most part, since I've known you, you've always had a competitive team. You expect that out of your players, and I've yet to see not one girl, not one ball player, not give you 110%. What do you credit that to? Is that more work ethic than when you were younger, you think?
Well, yeah, there's definitely an expectation for when you go in that Bridgewater Raynham uniform that you are going to be hard-nosed, you're going to be gritty, you're going to be determined. The work ethic that Bridgewater Raynham kids bring to the table, that's just the expectation. And you're right, that's what I grew up with. I grew up with battling two older brothers who didn't back down an inch for me, even though I was the youngest. The expectation set in our household was one of hard work and loyalty and ethics, and those are all things that I try to continue to bring that personality, I guess, to our teams. Something that always continues to be stressed upon when I have to play at Stonehill, and that's just kind of how we do things. The expectation is that you are going to dig in deep defensively. If there is a loose ball, you are going to get on the ground, get after it. That you are going to be loyal and committed. So these are just standards that we set forth in the program, but really they're standards that were the groundwork was laid, before us by players that stayed at the Arc, that played through Jerry Conniff era and forward.
Now, any teams coming into this past season that you personally wanted to see use as a point, to see where you guys were at as a team? Is there any certain teams you wanted to measure yourself against, and you and the coaching staff, or at least you, had a chance how you could measure your squad?
Well, there's always teams that you're looking to play and compete against because, there's so many teams in the Division 1 South particularly that are such high quality. But, the quality of the South teams is so deep that we're always looking to make sure that we're continuing to upgrade our competition to give our kids the best advantage as we move into the postseason. So yeah, we're already working on building the schedule for next year. We've reached out to teams to reach out to us, so it's just a matter of time of continuing to build and strengthen that schedule so that the kids are truly battle tested when that big tournament time rolls around.
So no particular team. So basically, you just take every team as they come at you. Is that fair to say, as far as how the team comes up to play during that night?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's, as far as when we're looking at our schedule, obviously you have relationships with coaches, and you have to keep those relationships in mind about, teams that Bridgewater Raynham has consistently played over the course of, the season. And then, you're always trying to outreach and touch base with other teams that you would like to play during the course of the year. We're always out scouting. I think I can't even tell you how many days out of our season that either myself or Coach Gallagher or my husband Jim actually goes out and scouts a lot for us as well. We're always out there trying to look at other teams and see opponents and analyzing their strengths and weaknesses and see how we measure up against them. But in terms of scheduling, it's pretty much it's a chess match to try to determine what teams have flexibility in their schedules and what teams don't, and what teams are willing to play it. That's what we're seeing right now is a lot of teams are kind of saying, oh gosh, you're going to be loaded again next year. We don't necessarily want to be as a competitor right now, but call us in 5 years, so that's kind of where we are.
Okay. Kenzie, how about you, young lady? First of all, I got to give you get 2 official complaints, Kenzie. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So they said you need to speak up.
Okay.
You're trying your best for what we have going on here, so I know you're trying your best. So what about you, kid? What about coming into the season for you? Your junior year, and you had another great season. But was there any certain teams you wanted to measure yourself against to realize, your game is where you wanted it?
I mean, not a particular team. kind of take every game like very seriously. Every team is a competitor for us. So um, obviously we want to play like the best competition for us. We are a really talented team. So we were excited to go into like playoffs and stuff like that because we're playing the competition's getting better and better every game. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't say there's a particular team, but almost just every game coming ready, knowing what we're going up against.
Okay. Now, what did you think about the Southeastern Conference, the new SEC? Could you care less if you just look at it like you just said? It's, whoever comes up against you, and they got to earn the win. Is that pretty much your mindset? Did you have any
Yeah,
thoughts coming into this with this Southeastern
yeah,
Conference thing?
yeah. I think it's a great conference. We have some competitive games with those teams.
Okay. You know what I meant. I mean, I was just trying to, get a little curious on your mind. How about you, Coach? Were you more excited about this new conference, the Southeast Conference? Adding more teams to your conference instead of having the old OCL and merging the
You
big
know,
three?
yeah, the OCL was such a tremendous conference for so many years. We had so many great battles, and unfortunately, when it started to disintegrate, it became more and more difficult for the members that were left in order to get games. So joining a new conference enables us to have more games already on our docket for next year, and then we can fill in the remaining games with other competition, other competitors. It's certainly teams that we started to play. We've always started kind of our relationship with Boston and playing Durfee and playing New Bedford. So adding them in was just a natural fit. They were kind of without a home. Being, they had the big three, but it's not really a big conference. We were without a home, so it's a good fit for both the OCL and the big three to kind of have this merge going forward.
I think some of it was based on. I remember Dan Bjorn mentioned some of it, and he didn't really say that was the case. So I'm just giving my own side opinion. It was more based off travel, like not Dartmouth, but Barnstable is way down the Cape, where Dartmouth isn't too far away, and you know, you know, the furthest one away out of this conference is probably you guys in Brockton.
Right. It's nice when you can have competitors that are close proximity. First and foremost, you have to know the students. In that, if we are taking them on these long bus trips away from and take some time to get home, what impact does that have on their academics? Because that really is our first priority, obviously, the academic um, well-being of the student athletes. So going into the Southeast Conference allows the travel time to dramatically be shortened. We could have joined other conferences, but that would have meant that our student athletes are on the bus ride for longer times and longer durations. And we wouldn't want to see any negative impact on these student athletes. Asking kids to get home after a basketball game at 10 o'clock at night and then turn around and do 2-3 hours of homework. That's not in the best interest of them, of their academics.
Right, good point, buddy. How is that policed up with the academics? When you're as successful as you guys obviously are, sometimes the first thing the competitors will say, and the other schools might say, is, "Oh, they don't police academics up here. There's no way Kenzie Madalonis is that good, and she's such a great academic student." You know what I mean? Some people do think foolish like that. But so how do we police that over at PR?
Yeah, there's always been a high priority on academics. These kids are students first and athletes second, and that is where the priorities lay. If there's ever any conflict with a student or an athlete having to attend, an additional AP study session or going to extra help after school or whatever it may be, athletics comes secondary to academics. These kids perform not only on the court, but they also perform, in the classroom as well. One of our seniors this year was the fifth ranked kid in her class. The team prior, the seniors, 10, I want to say 9 of the 11 kids who were National Honor Society members. So there's definitely a high priority placed on academics, especially as we are, like I said, these kids are competing on the athletic field, but they're also competing in the classroom and in the community. These are really, they're stewards of their communities. They do community service without asking. So that's one thing that I'm very, very lucky to have. We have very well-rounded young ladies on our team.
Very good. All right, Kenzie, now your turn. You ready?
Yeah.
How do you balance being on such a great ball team, something that you love more than life itself, in schoolwork? What advice can you give some of the girls that want to make this team and help you guys out next year as far as balancing
Yeah.
academics?
You definitely have to really focus on balancing it all out. It's a lot, especially like if you want to be a great player, you're in the gym hours on end. So just kind of giving yourself a schedule and putting in time to make sure you get your schoolwork done, and then also being able to get in the gym as much as you can. So um, just to balancing it out, schoolwork comes first for me. Um, so I always make sure I stay on top of that, and by doing that, I'm able to be in the gym all the time.
Very good. Very good. All right, we're getting ready to take our second break. I was flying by. I got So, yeah, we're getting ready to take our second break. I have the privilege of having Kenzie Madalonis and our coach of the year, Cheryl Seavey from Bridgewater Raynham High School. We're about to take our second break. We apologize. The lines are full because we have the privilege of having those guys on, but I want to thank people reaching out on Facebook and on Twitter and stuff like that about what's going on, different questions for the young ladies. All right, so we'll take our break. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word. You can listen to podcasts. If you have a problem with the Facebook, just go to our website, all one word, FOUR4DSportsTalk.com. And on Facebook, actually 4 words, 4 Deep Sports Talk. We'll be back with more right after this. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4DeepSportsTalk.com. We are live. We are not, this is not a tape delay. We're actually trying to make the best of this pandemic, and we are experimenting, and we have the privilege right now of having our coach of the year, Coach Cheryl Seavey from Bridgewater Raynham, and one of her top players, Kenzie Madalonis. Guys, you still with me?
Yeah, I am.
See, wow, I'm doing good. This is pretty good.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
2 for 2. So, Kenzie, let's talk about some of your teammates. And, I got their strengths and weaknesses, I guess, on the stat sheet. But you know the players better than anyone, just like the coach knows her players. I just thought I'd get your opinion on if you could just elaborate on some of the players. And I was going to start with Shea Bolin.
Yeah. Jay, I've been playing with Jay for 6 years now. For a whole we play in the fall, winter, and spring together, summer. So she's my girl on and off the court, so I definitely love playing with her. But she's awesome. I mean, she's super unselfish. She's always looking for that extra pass. She's a scorer from all over the floor. She plays tough defense, rebounds the ball very well. So I'm very grateful to be able to play with her.
Okay. Well, thank you, young lady. So with that, I'll just finish up by saying she averaged 10 points a game, 52 steals, and she averaged just under 19 points a game. She so 10 rebounds, 569 minutes on the court. Again, 52 steals, I meant to say. I think I said that wrong the first time. And just under 19 points. Now, what about Talia Tai?
Same with Talia. I play with her all year long for the past 6 years, so we definitely have that camaraderie. And she's tough. She plays awesome defense. She's a scorer as well, all over the floor. Great teammate. So I really enjoy playing with both of them.
Okay, then, of course, we have Amber Silva. So I'm just running down the list.
Yeah. Amber is tough. I love playing defense with her. She's scrappy. She's always all over the ball, much like me. Um, but yeah, I'm glad I've been able to play with her this past year. She's been a really good asset to our team.
And we have Kelly, Fiona
Yeah.
Kelly. I said that. Sorry, Fiona.
I love Fiona. You don't always see the stuff she does. It's a lot of little things, but her little things is why we're so successful as a team.
Very cool. And then you have um, Emma Flaherty.
Emma Flaherty.
Yeah.
I love Emma. She's a great person. She's our little freshman. Always will be. I created such a good relationship with her, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to bring to our team in the next year.
Absolutely. Then Bella Clavani.
Yeah, Bella's also one of those players where you don't always see what she's doing. She does little things. She's a tenacious defender. She's all over the ball. Um, so yeah, she's a great asset to us in this.
All right, Coach. So help me. Maybe you can tell me. We'll finish round up the rest of your roster. Talk about these young ladies.
Sure.
You got Dana Postic.
Yeah. So Dana came up. She originally was one of those kids that split between the JV and the varsity program early in the year. And really, when she moved to varsity full time, she started to provide a little bit of additional support in that two-guard position. And she was good that, eventually, I hate to say it, but eventually when Kenzie leaves us, being a fast, her next step along this journey will be, Dan is one that we're really looking to continue to mold into that next point guard position for us, along with Amber, and then, possibly with Emma as well.
Okay, then we have Mrs. McGrath.
Veronica?
I missed the vowel. I didn't. My glasses. I was trying to read her first name. Veronica. I'm sorry. Yes.
Veronica was one of our senior captains this year. A kid that really motivates kids behind the scenes, and was able to step in and provide some team members during different times of different games with our side. She's actually going to be going to UNH next year, and I believe she's studying, not criminal justice. Oh gosh, I think she wants to be working possibly as like a guidance counselor or work with people who are potential in these situations and things like that.
That's cool.
So we wish her the best of luck.
And here's another spot that I used to love to call during the games is Jordan Striggles.
Yes, Jordan. Jordan is going to be a rising senior for us. So she's a kid that is done again what's best interest of the team and is plays out of position. Naturally, I think she's more of a 3, but she's been asked to play into the 4 spot just because one is Siobhan sitting at the 3. So she recognizes that if she would like to contribute to the team, that she had to make a sacrifice for her position and move into the 4, and she was able to give us some team minutes and get some key defensive stops and rebounds for us.
Okay, then we have Ashley J.
Ashley is another kid that split was one of those swing players between the JV and the varsity program last year. Definitely a kid that I'm looking to see how she continues to grow and develop over the course of the summer. Her defensive intensity is second to none. She has a willingness to attack gaps and get into the lane. So it's definitely another kid that has a bright future ahead of us.
Very cool. And then we have Kyra Convent.
Kira is actually she's like I said, the 5th ranked kid in our senior graduating class. I'm proud for her for that. She is going to be going to UNH next year, and I believe she's studying biomedical engineering. So another kid that just did yeoman's work on coming to practice, being positive, taking whatever minutes she was given with a big smile on her face. Just a very good team kid. That kid is positive and happy and uplifting to all those, to all. It definitely will be missed. So that's one of the two graduating seniors for us.
And now we have Hannah Smith.
Yeah, Hannah was such a great kid that just really struggled with significant knee injuries during the course of her career at the but is a tremendous long-range shooter. I'm hopeful that her knee issues resolve, that she can get back to being healthy. And that's where she needs to focus on is make sure that she has health, that her knee is healthy. And we're looking forward to seeing what she can bring to us.
Okay, finishing up the roster, we have Grace Forrester.
Yeah, so
Forrester, am I saying that wrong?
Yeah, no, Grace Forrester. So Grace is another one of the kids that swung between the Davie and the varsity program last year. Another kid that brings a tremendous amount of positiveness, of positivity, I guess, to the program. Works tremendously hard and like that. Didn't gain a lot of experience in the varsity team this year because of the swing stature, but depending on how hard she works next year and how her skill set is improved, we're looking forward to seeing what she can do for us.
Very cool. And we got Megan Feeney.
Again, Megan is another one of those kids that was elite roster addition for us. Another one of those kids that played on the JV level this year, primarily because, again, there's so many talented kids ahead of us. But hard-working kid, a tough, tenacious defender, and a rebounder. So, another one of those high-potential kids. So we'll see what happens with her as well. It's going to be interesting to see some of the kids who swung between JV and varsity last year. I'm sure that getting the taste of the experience in the garden that for our varsity kids is doing a few of their summer workouts.
Okay. Then we have Sam Sylvia.
Yep, Sam Sylvia, again, like I said, along the same lines, a kid that we brought up, for that end of the season tournament run. Again, she was unmarked potential, and she's going to have to see. We'll continue to work hard, and the growth potential is there for Sam as well as all those other kids. So, like I said, we're excited to see that we've got some depth coming back. So, first day of trials is definitely going to be a litmus test for the team of who has worked out and who has that internal motivation and drive to do the workouts in this pandemic when we can't necessarily get into the gym. So, and just see what happens to some of these kids.
Absolutely. So I think that's the whole roster. Plus we finished 21-3, 8-0 in the conference, 10-0 at home, 7-1 away, and the neutral teams were 4-2. Again, big thanks to Jim T for helping us out. Boy, he made me sound like I knew what I was talking about during some of these games. So, Kenzie, what do you try to instill in some of these young girls as far as especially, I guess the biggest thing is the speed of the game. No one knows how fast the game is, no more than you. I mean, you're right in the middle of thicket. I mean, you had 500, was it 591 minutes in the game, in the season? You averaged 591. That's a lot of time. What's the biggest thing you try to instill in the younger players when it comes to the speed of this game at that level?
It's just something you have to get used to. The more practice you have with it, and the more you get in those games and you start going at that speed, you just get used to it. So I would just say, just continue to work hard, and when it's your turn to go in that game, just be ready.
How about conditioning? Is there certain things you did different to make sure you stayed at that top level for Division I girls basketball? Did you do a lot of cardio, a lot of running? Is that something you would recommend for these young kids that want to, show them that they can play and help out this team?
Definitely. Conditioning is a big part of this game. You can't stay in the game if you're tired in 2 seconds. So it's a big part of my everyday running, getting in that cardio, staying in shape. It was a big thing for us this season. We did run a short bench, so we were running every day at practice, just trying to stay in the best shape we could to perform well every game.
Very good. All right, girls, we're going to take our last break. Can I hold on to you for at least another 15 minutes?
Not a problem.
Kenzie, can I still hold on to you for a little bit longer?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, very good. So we're going to step away. We're going to take our last break. You are listening live. This is not a recording or a tape. We are live here as we have the pleasure of having our girls basketball coach of the year, Bridgewater Raynham head coach Cheryl Seavey, and standout player Kenzie Medalonis. You are listening here in 4D Sports Talk on WARA 1320, of course, on our Facebook page, all one word, 4D Sports Talk Show. We'll be back with more right after this. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4D Sports Talk here on the news station. 1320 AM WARA. We're on our Facebook page. Actually, 4 words, 4D Sports Talk. If you want to listen to the podcast, just go to our website. All one word, 4dsportstalk.com. We have the privilege of having our coach of the year, Cheryl Seavey from Bridgewater Raynham High School. And, of course, Kenzie Medalonis, the standout student and player, averaging 591 minutes per game. Free throws. All right, I'm going to tell them exactly what you did. How's that, Kenzie? You mind if I brag?
Okay.
All right, thank you. I hope she's not cringing, Coach, as I read up these stats.
She might just, get a little red in the face. It's okay. Sorry about it.
Oh. So she, again, 591 minutes, averages 24.6. Total field goals, she was 96 for 226, which is, .407. Free throws, 38 for 122, averaging, I know people used to say batting averages is good. .311. Rebounds, average 5.6. Offense, 55 rebounds. Defense, 79 for a total of 134. I know, Jim's probably going to tear me if I mess up the stat. She averaged, which I had the pleasure of mentioning, her 100th steal during the semifinal state championship game at the Garden. And her total points were 262, averaging 10.9, might as well say 11 points per game. Kenny, that's really cool,
Thank you.
You're welcome. As far as the team stats go, which is really cool, points per game were 60.5. The scoring margin average was plus 17.7. Continuing on, three-pointers. Field goal percentage was .94%. The made percentage was 7.3 for the team. Free throws, which I like to call from charity stripe, was .595. Free throws made per game were 8.3. Rebounds per game for the girls, per game was 41.3 with a plus margin of 7.9. Turnovers per game were 13.3 with turnover margin of plus 6.0. Steals, which Kenzie had a little bit to do with it. Steals per game were 12.3. Total steals 295. Blocks 85. Blocks per game 3.5. And the attendance, this is really good. One thing, I'm going to put up that picture again of Red Nation. One thing about Red Nation, I mean, there's a lot of school pride in that school. Would you agree, Kenzie?
I would, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the amount of kids, some kids just want to hang out and be with their friends, but 9 times out of 10, Coach, you could probably, confirm this as well. They're into the game. They're watching every move these lady Trojans make on the court.
Absolutely. We had such tremendous fan support from both teams. Anytime on any given night, you looked out and you saw rotation. But then you saw our kids' families and their grandparents. And then, I even saw kids that I went to high school with. My friends would come to the game, or just people generally in the community that wanted to be part of this thing, that they recognize that this is something special, that these young ladies are role models. And, in a world that you're searching for good things to happen or positive stories, what most you ask for in Bridgewater Raynham, girls basketball varsity team and JV team as well, top to bottom. Uh, so I loved all the fan sport. I love that these young ladies take being a role model so seriously that after the games they're talking to the little kids, and that these young kids that are coming up to our players just have these big eyes of, wow, I want to be like you. And it all starts, like I said, it all starts with that great community sport, and right from Red Nation all the way through our communities of Bridgewater and Raynham.
Absolutely. So the other thing I wanted to mention, Coach, and I want to get this from Kenzie now that we're winding down. I'm pretty sure I didn't go down this avenue yet. Coach, as the head coach, what do you expect either from someone trying to make this team or a possible player coming from another school? What does it make to be a Lady Trojan on this basketball team? Basketball player.
The first thing I tell the kids in the first day in class is that this experience isn't for everybody. This is hard. It's hard work, but there's expectations for this program. And the expectations are laid right from the day one of tryouts, and they're asked to be at the gym 30 minutes prior to us even stepping onto the floor. So you have to be, if you're on time, you're late, 9-year-old. So the expectation is you're early. That starts with this groundwork and framework. The expectation is that you are going to work incredibly hard. That, like I said, this experience isn't for everybody. It's hard for a reason because there's only select people on each team that can do this. And we carry rosters of 12 kids, 10 kids, so these truly are the best of the bunch, that those young ladies that are on our team. They know that they're going to have expectations, that they're going to be asked to do certain things physically, that they're going to be asked to do certain things mentally, they're going to be asked to know the playbook. They're going to be asked to focus on all those little details that lead up to the big things. But they're also going to be asked to continue to be good members in their community. They're going to be asked to do some community involvement. They're going to be asked to be good teammates, and to trust each other, to support each other. Like I said, you have to be part of our family. So, you're all in or you're not. And like I said, I'm very honest with the kids in my assessment in the beginning of, practice with the trials, is that this journey isn't for everybody, and it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. And I think definitely it was worth it this year. Another year of it being worth it. It's something very special to be able to experience with these young ladies. I'm very fortunate.
That's awesome. All right, Kenzie, what about you? Someone trying to come in to make this team, or someone coming from another school. What advice would you try to instill in them? I know we talked a little bit about work ethic, but just all around. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. You got to love it for one.
Yeah, definitely. You just have to be invested in what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build. I think the biggest thing for our team is just being a good teammate on and off the court. As you can tell, we're such a close team, and I think that's why we've had so much success in the past 3 years I've been at BR. I've never had an issue with any of my teammates. They're my best friends. So just having that really strong relationship with each player, which translates on the court, is a big part of our team. And of course, work ethic. I mean, we're a very hardworking team, so just coming to practice every day, ready to learn, not just from our coach, but from each other, and just producing that success and when it comes time for games.
That's awesome. All right, so we're approaching the part of the show where I thought you guys might want to give some shout-outs, some well-deserved shout-outs. Anybody who comes to mind, your dog, your cat, your parrot, you can throw your parents in there if you want to, but I didn't know if you guys want to do a couple shout-outs.
Well, Ken's out with us for me. I can always talk. I just want to thank all the first responders out there that are on the front lines every day. There's several friends who are nurses, and just to see what they're going through and the determination and the courage that they're facing during this pandemic is just heroic. So I just want to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, police, EMTs, the nurses, the doctors, and even a big thank you to those that are, stocking the grocery shelves or driving trucks for us. And they're really keeping this country moving during this tremendous time of adversity. So I think that's my big shout out is to them to say thank you.
Awesome. What about you, Kenzie? Anybody want to shout out to?
Yeah, same thing as all the people who are on the front line. I mean, hats off to you. You're really keeping us all together right now. Anyone who's suffering from this virus right now, I wish you the best of luck and health. And my teammates, shout out to my teammates and my coach. You guys are the best. And thank you for having me.
Oh, it was our pleasure. I wish I had a chance to come up with fresh air. I mean, usually I have a couple interns in here. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show. It's on Bridgewater or Raynham Access TV. Usually more than one person here. And all I have to do is just run the board and I have someone running the computer. I'm actually going to earn my pay today. I'm going to give myself a pat in the back. But I think you guys definitely hit the nail on the head when you mentioned the first responders. There is nothing, I mean, I think it's one of those, you see these professional players, and this is why I love doing high school youth sports. They get paid so much money. And then you have all these other people, Cheryl, you mentioned, about how they're just doing their job because they love it and they're bringing a livelihood into their home, and they're not getting the recognition I believe they should be getting. And again, I just want to, add to what you said earlier. Hats off to all those people. I have friends, and I coach freshman football over Bristol Plymouth, and the head coach John Parrish's wife Monica works for the Good Samaritan, and it's just unprecedented the effort they're making. They are the soldiers fighting this fight for us right now.
Definitely. And like that, thank you again for having us, and thank you for all that you do in promoting high school sports and promoting our story and talking about our team. We really do appreciate it.
Well, hopefully you'll see me soon, and we'll be back at it, and hopefully go on another great run. Guys, thank you very much. Be safe.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you again.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And that was Kenzie Madalonis and, of course, Coach Stevie. Coach Stevie was nominated our Coach of the Year through, the voting that we do. I asked the guys who they thought one of the other coaches were. And Coach Stevie was hands down the best nominee for the Coach of the Year. I mean, there was some top nominations. Coach from Foxborough. She was Coach of the Year a couple of years ago as well. But with that being said, I'm Dominic Damiano here from 4D Sports Track. Next week, I won't be here. Luce Cabral will be here. She has some special guests. I think she's actually going to bring a pro wrestler to sit across the table from her. And hopefully Brett Childs will come and keep her company, and they'll do some talking. And I think the second week, she is going to have a friend of hers from Swansea Access TV via the phone lines, talk about Swansea sports and everything going on in town of Swansea. And as far as the high school level goes, hopefully we'll have a fall season with, football and all the other great sports, and then roll into basketball and that stuff. I'm just rambling on, trying to let this time die down. I'm Dominic Damiano again from 4D Sports Talk. My hat's off again to all the first responders, everyone that does a fantastic job, keeping us safe. Again, adding to what Cheryl Stevie said. We will catch you next time.
To WARA 1320 AM Attleboro.
This 4D Sports Talk broadcast is brought to you by Physical Therapy U. For more information, they can be reached at ptuclinic.com. Adria's Restaurant Banquet Facility of East Bridgewater. Their website is adriasrestaurant.net for all of your restaurant and banquet needs. Megan Chase of Kim West Real Estate. Her contact information is 774-240-7707 for all of your real estate needs.
This has been a presentation of 4 Deep Sports Talk, where high school and youth athletics come first.